What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Maverick Raven coming at you with another one. And I gotta say, I was not expecting to make another video, especially not anything about this, I'll be honest with you. But this is completely, like breaking news, super important. It says U.S. Supreme Court allows Texas to enforce illegal immigration law. It means that the Texas immigration law to go in effect as appeals process plays out. Now, here's the thing. It came back 6-3. I'm pretty sure, which is amazing because Roberts is he's not a conservative. He's maybe a moderate, maybe, but he's for sure he votes with the left a lot. Now we're gonna read this here, but before we go into it, if you would please do me the favor, like, subscribe, share, comment down below. It helps the algorithm and it helps me and it lets me know that I'm not just screaming into the vacuum of space. Come join the flock. The water's fine, I promise. Now. Says the U.S. Supreme Court on Tuesday allowed Texas to enforce a law that would allow local law enforcement officials to arrest people suspected of being illegal immigrants. Just big win, big win. Legal immigrant here because there's folks who were legal immigrants who waited to get away from communism. Super happy about this. Super happy about this. After the High Court temporarily blocked enforcement of the law, the Supreme Court issued a decision to reject an emergency request that was made by the Biden Department of Justice, which argued that states have no rights to enforce immigration law and that it violated the Constitution's Supremacy Clause. The Supreme Court's order provided no reasons, but Justices Amy Coney Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh filed concurring opinions. 3 Democrat-appointed justices, Elena Kagan, Ketanji Brown Jackson, and Sonia Sotomayor, dissented. Is anybody surprised about that? Is anybody surprised about that? If they don't dissent and if they don't write dissenting opinions, the left will eat them alive. They know it, okay? And this is why this is happening. It says, with the ruling, the immigration law can now go into effect while lower courts consider the law known as SB 4. It was passed by the Republican-controlled state legislature last year and signed into law by Texas Governor Greg Abbott in late December. Specifically, SB 4 allows local and state police to arrest people who have illegally crossed the U.S.-Mexico border and imposes criminal penalties. State judges are also given the power to order illegal immigrants to be deported under the measure. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I can't believe that we're getting another conservative win. I can't believe it. I, honest to God, can't believe it. I hate even saying the Lord's name in vain. But let me tell you, man, I am so happy. I am so happy right now because this country has been blowing up. The population has been blowing up. And I'm going to be real with you guys. The vast majority of this country is empty space. But that doesn't mean that we need to lose all our resources and funnel tax money towards all these illegal immigrants that are coming in here and just depleting us of resources. I'm sorry that you came from a shithole country. Oh, wait, did I say shithole country? I meant shithole country. I'm sorry you came from such a bad place. But if we let you in here, okay, you're going to turn this into the shithole that you're trying to avoid. That's why we have to have a controlled amount of immigration that can come in here and actually help us. Come in here, join the American experiment, join the melting pot that is the United States. But you know what? You got to obey our laws and you got to wait your turn in line. In her concurring opinion, Justice Barrett wrote that the High Court has never reviewed the decision of a court of appeals to enter or not enter an administrative stay. When entered, an administrative stay is supposed to be a short-lived prelude to the main event, a ruling on the motion for a stay pending appeal. I think it unwise to invite emergency litigation in this court about whether a court of appeals abused its discretion at this preliminary step, she wrote. The 3 dissenting justices, however, decried the law and said it would upend the federal government's authority. Of course, because every single time that something happens, the left cries that the sky's falling down. It's absolutely insane. The court gives a green light to a law that will upend the long-standing federal-state balance of power and sow chaos when the only court to consider the law concluded that it is likely unconstitutional, Justice Sotomayor wrote in her dissenting opinion, which was joined by Justice Jackson. Reacting to the Supreme Court's decision, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton wrote on social media Tuesday that his state notched a huge win and that the law is now in effect. It is a huge win. It is a massive, 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 massive win. Last month, a federal judge blocked enforcement of the law, arguing that it would supersede the federal government's authority over immigration. The judge also rejected arguments from Texas that the state is currently experiencing an invasion due to the enormous number of illegal aliens pouring into the state. That right there is indicative of everything. If you literally cannot say, hey, we're having an illegal immigration problem, then guess what? You're part of the problem and you're letting it happen and you know it's happening and you're benefiting from it. As I said in my other video, they want these illegal immigrants here, okay? The left wants a one-party state. They want the all conservatives to be gone. You don't, and I'm telling you, American to American, or even if you're not listening to me in the United States, let me tell you something. This has been a two-party system for a long time. It's a broken system. It is. I'll tell you that. It's a broken system, all right? But that doesn't mean that you throw out the baby with the bathwater, okay? You fix the broken system. The solution is not to turn into a one, party totalitarian regime, which is what they're trying to turn it into. And it's obvious. And you can call it a conspiracy theory all you want, but there's no reason to have, hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants coming here every month. Okay? There's no reason for that. U.S. District Judge David Ezra in February ruled that SB 4 violated the U.S. Constitution's Supremacy Clause, which grants the federal government sole authority over immigration matters. The judge also rejected state arguments that Texas was being invaded under the U.S. Constitution Article 4. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. See, these are all leftist judges that they value party over any type of real, any objective reality. Okay? They value party over any merit, party over any fairness. They don't give a shit about the Constitution. They'll wipe their ass with that thing. For them, that's just a piece of paper that's blocking their way. You don't believe me? Look at the way they act. Look at how now everybody's racist and Texas this and that and blah, blah, blah. They started, killing these Mexicans and these poor people from Honduras and whatever else. That's what's going on right now. That's what they're, crying on the left. The decrying of racist and, oh, you guys are nothing but bigots. Kiss my fucking ass, dude. Straight up. We're not bigots. I'm not a self-hating Hispanic. I want legal immigrants that are going to make this country better, not drag it down because they need help. I'm very, very sorry, but we are not the world police. We're not, okay? That's why I don't want any new wars, because we're not the world police. As a Christian, I can tell you, hey, you know what? It'd be nice if we could help other people. But as an American citizen, I got to be honest, okay? We're not in a position to be able to help anyone else. He wrote at the time that the law would run afoul of federal immigration laws and said that if allowed, Texas would then be able to permanently supersede federal directives, which would amount to nullification of federal law and authority. The law presents a notion that is antithetical to the Constitution and has been unequivocally rejected by federal courts since the Civil War, Judge Ezra wrote, adding that it threatens the fundamental notion that the United States must regulate immigration with one voice. Days later, the Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals blocked Judge Ezra's decision and upheld the law before the case was appealed to the Supreme Court. Justice Alito issued several temporary holds on the law, the most recent of which was on Monday. The Fifth Circuit is set to hear arguments in the case on April 3rd. Flatly inconsistent. Solicitor General Elizabeth Prelogal, I don't know what type of last name that is, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, so I apologize. Prelogal, I don't know. Writing on behalf of the Biden administration, wrote in court papers that SB 4 is flatly inconsistent with Supreme Court precedent and that it should be struck down. Those decisions recognize that the authority to admit and remove non-citizens is a core responsibility of the national government, and that where Congress has enacted a law addressing those issues, state law is preempted, she wrote. So let me get this straight. It's the authority of the federal government. The federal government just isn't doing it for whatever reason, right? Who knows why? We know why, I think, but they want to act like we're crazy or stupid. When the lawsuit was filed in January, Justice Department officials said that under the Constitution's Supremacy Clause, states can't adopt laws that would interfere with the framework of immigration laws that were passed in Congress. The Justice Department will continue to fulfill its responsibility to uphold the Constitution and enforce federal law, they said in a news release at the time. But according to Governor Abbott, a Republican, the law was required due to what he described as the Biden administration's failure to enforce federal laws that penalize illegal entry or re-entry into the United States. The Biden administration has been at odds with the governor on a number of state immigration policies, including Texas setting up razor wire in a high-traffic area near its border with Mexico and barriers set up in the Rio Grande. You get the point. Guys, we are in the middle of an illegal immigrant crisis. We are. I know some people get touchy about calling me illegals. I don't give a shit, okay? I could not possibly care less about the terminology. The people that are coming are not the best. They're just the ones that want free stuff. And guess what? How many people, and I'm not even saying American citizens, even though it's a majority of American citizens, but how many more American citizens or people need to be victimized by these illegal immigrants before we can finally have someone that comes in here and says, nah, this is bullshit, this needs to go. That's what President Trump wants to do. That's what I stand behind. That's what most people stand behind. So why are you afraid to say it? Don't be afraid to say it. This is common sense, guys. Your house is yours. Their house is theirs. Their house maybe is not as nice as ours, but that doesn't mean that they can come over here and just knock down a wall and take it back home to Mexico to make their house nicer. It doesn't work that way. A little bit of a snappy analogy there, but you get what I'm saying. Sloppiness notwithstanding. All right? So, it is what it is, you guys. But, thank you for spending time with me. Consider subscribing. Join the flock. That'd be amazing. Join the Discord server. We're always on. We're just, shooting the shit, talking there. What can I tell you, you guys? It'd be great to have you. Be safe, be good to one another, and stay based.